Hello, everybody. It's a great pleasure to be able to introduce Reverend Dr. Keith Jones to you today, and he's going to be bringing us the first of his Edify presentations regarding Ukraine and Russia. Over to you, Keith.
Thank you very much, Margaret. It's a joy to be with you and to be able to offer these reflections on Russia and Ukraine and our Baptist beginnings there. During this presentation, I'm going to be sharing some slides, and in a moment I will have the slideshow running. So I want to outline the historical context and current realities of our sisters and brothers in Christ who live out their lives of faith in the current countries we currently call Ukraine and the Russian Federation. It's a complex story, but the situation up until February 2022 was that Ukraine was the largest national Baptist community in the European Baptist Federation, outstripping our own Baptist Union of Great Britain in terms of the number of places of worship. 2,382 as against 2,080, and having approximately the same number of baptized believers, about 130,000. This remarkable situation comes about because of a progressive program of evangelism and church planting, which Ukrainian Baptists instituted following the collapse of the old Soviet Empire in 1990. It was Mikhail Gorbachev, one-time General Secretary of the USSR Communist Party, who brought to the forefront the phrase, "our common European home." Brexit, our exit from the European Union by referendum in 2016, and the invasion of the sovereign Republic of Ukraine by the tyrant Putin and his Russian army have surely shattered that vision of Gorbachev. Yet, as European Baptists, who over the past couple of hundred years have engaged constructively with our Slavic sisters and brothers in Christ, we do live in a common European Baptist space, one which we only partially understand, as for many years the Soviet authorities minimized contact with the wider Christian world for our Baptist sisters and brothers, allowing limited interaction, which was always controlled and supervised by the KGB. To understand Slavic Christianity today, we need at least a glimpse at the past. Kyiv, the capital city of Ukraine, is key to our understanding. Ukraine is the land through which the largest and greatest number of European people have moved over the centuries in search of a homeland. Known in ancient days as Scythia, it carries the principal overland pathway between Asia and Europe. Its modern Slavic name means on the edge. A rich and fertile plain made it one of the principal breadbaskets of the world. In Donbass, the focus of conflict now, there's a rich seam of coal and iron, and that fueled industrial development in Eastern Europe. It's why there are so many large factories which have been bombed and decimated in recent months. Long before there was anything to call Moscow, Kyiv was. Until the Russian invasion, it was the 7th most populous city in Europe. It probably existed as a trading community by the 5th century. and became the capital of the East Slavic state. Slavic historians call it Kyivan Russ. It's this city which was the key centre for the establishment of Christianity amongst the Slavic peoples. The apostles to the Slavs, Cyril and Methodius from Thessalonica, were sent north by the Patriarch of Constantinople, Photius, in about 860 AD, to be the missionaries to the people we think of as Slavs, and they ended up on the north coast of the Black Sea, in a land we today know as Crimea. Here they learned the language, they listened to what people were saying. It wasn't a written down language, and so they did that. They developed it, Glaglotylic, which developed into Cyrillic, the written form of language for Slavs in Russia, Ukraine, Bulgaria, and elsewhere. The heart of early centuries of Christian Slavic life was around the Dnieper River, fought over today. This Slavic Christianity grew and was the heart of an ever-expanding Byzantine or Orthodox Christian world. In that context, St. Petersburg, the original capital of the country we now know as Russia, wasn't founded until 1703 by Tsar Peter the Great, using as its heart a captured Swedish fortress. The capital of Russia, as we know it today, the city of Moscow, only became so after the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917. In the same way as we can't fully understand British Baptist life only by seeing it as dissenting from the state or government church, the Church of England, and how that shapes and colours how we British Baptists live, so we can't rightly understand Ukrainian and Russian Baptist Christians unless we appreciate the background of the Orthodox Church. The Orthodox Church built from that initial missionary impetus of Cyril and Methodius and their protege, Cyril of Ochrid. The steady move of Christian believing from Constantinople to Lake Ochrid in a country we now call North Macedonia, and on through the town of Nitra in today's Slovakia, to Kyiv and upwards towards Hungary. The influence of Byzantine Orthodox Christianity, with its concern for the liturgy, over against what you might describe in Western Christianity as a concern for biblical study and theology, is very important. The Orthodox teaching that the elements of the Christian faith remain a mystery, which no human mind is capable of comprehending fully, is an important background to understanding Baptist life too. For Orthodox, the teaching is on saying what God is not. Unlike Western evangelical thought, the journey towards God and salvation is by a process of deification or theosis. Orthodox faith focuses on the glory of God's creation, its valuing of icons as an important factor. And that's the background to the movements of evangelical life about which we want to speak. So, in a moment or two, you have the opportunity to reflect together. How much do you know about Orthodox Christianity and that emphasis on the journey towards God and the valuing of creation? What are the insights that Orthodox Christianity might bring to we Western or Catholic tradition believers? What might have hindered the Slavic peoples having a reformation in the same way as we in the West did? And do we understand how Kyivan, Ukraine regards as demeaning the way Putin believes that they are not a country, but merely part of his Russian Federation? All deep and important questions if we are going to understand together how orthodoxy works.